Glad to see you all here. Facebook and Zoom appear ready today, so let's begin our service. If you wish to follow along with the service, you can scan the QR code. Well, when it's up there. Or go to riverofgrassuu.org/2024-oos.html, of course, to find the service later. Well, good morning and welcome to the beloved community of River of Grass Unitarian Universalist Congregation, both here in person and love streamed on Zoom and Facebook Live. My name is Peter Fox. My pronouns are he and his, and I'm serving this beloved community this morning as worship host. We especially want to welcome our visitors this morning and hope, and hope you'll stay for coffee after the service and stop by our welcome table, if you haven't already, to let us know how to stay in touch with you. For all of you here in this room, it's wonderful to see your faces on this beautiful South Florida morning. It's a little cooler this morning, isn't it? Just a little. Yes. Boy, it feels a little better. For all of you here in this room, well, I said that already. For all of you who have joined us on Zoom and Facebook Live, we're so happy that you're here with us. However you made your way among us this morning, we welcome you. At River of Grass, we are committed to our mission to nurture our spirits, to love intentionally, and to create a just and healthy planet. River of Grass is an unapologetically progressive home for seekers of truth boldly told, love freely given, hope never failing, answering the call for peace and justice for all living things and the earth, our home. We open wide our doors and our hearts to you as you are, as we come together on this journey of transformation for ourselves and our world. May our sacred time together today be one of care and courage and a call to action. And in our way of caring, we draw your attention to our new blanket ministry sponsored by our hospitality team. The temperature and the airflow in our sanctuary can be a bit tricky. Some may feel uncomfortably cold or hot, and we try to keep the temperature at a happy medium. For those who feel warm, please remember to dress accordingly. I actually took off a t-shirt. It was warm when I walked in the door. I thought it was cool. And for those of you who feel cold, please take one of our freshly laundered blankets in the basket by the welcome table. After the service, please just leave the blanket on your chair, and our wonderful hospitality team will ensure that they are clean and ready for next week.
Sunrise and sunset, birds fly and rain falls. What a mighty world I see. Seedlings to flowers, and little babies to wise ones. What a mighty world I see. Only here for a moment in time, but eternity is yours Mystery surrounds us. Time passes and things change. What a mighty power I see. All is unfolding, and yet nothing is ever missing. Now that's a mighty power, you see. When you take the time to ponder how we manage through it all, the wonder, beauty, who we are. If you take the time and ponder all that you have made it through, be grateful for all that you are. What a mighty power have we. What a mighty love every day I choose to see. We live in a mighty, mighty world.
The poet, Jens-Rochow, wrote, "Someone reading a book is a sign of order in the world." Rebecca Solnit asserted that in her meditation on why we read and write, says, "A book is a heart that beats in the chest of another." There are many, many images and metaphors for the varied ways which books transform us, such as the axe for the frozen sea meant for Franz Kafka, or proof that humans are capable of working magic, Carl Sagan. But the one indisputable constant is that they do transform us in ways which we may not always be able to measure, but we can always feel it deep in our soul. Unitarian Universalism is a faith of seekers and questioners. Our communion, our coming together for this larger purpose, is one of ideas and thoughts, the sharing of what lies in and upon our hearts. Today, we participate in a communion of words and ideas, of those things that have found meaning in, as a way of building community between us and offering each other the sacred right of knowledge. Now we invite the River Brass Choir to stand up and lead us in singing this morning's theme song, Keep On Moving. The words are up here, rise in body or spirit, if you care to sing along.
Gotta keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gotta keep on loving proudly. Keep on loving proudly. Gotta keep on moving forward. Gotta keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Choir was especially good this morning. It sounded so good. And this morning we have a new chalice lighter, Diaz. She is going to share with her presentation and then her own chalice lighter.
Today I made a PowerPoint of the history of the of the UU chalice. How is the chalice important to UU history, you may ask? It is important because the flaming chalice is a central symbol of Unitarian Universalism, and its history is tied to the Unitarian Service Committee, which is also the USC, and World War II. The origins. The chalice was originally a symbol of the strength and freedom and, I don't know how to say the word, so sorry. During World War II, the USC director Charles Joy asked Austrian artist Hans Dust to create a symbol for the community. Dust combined the chalice and the flame to create an image that represented sacrifice and love. Used during World War II, the flaming chalice was used on travel documents, business cards, and hidden offices to guide refugees to safety. Popularity after the war. The flaming chalice became a popular symbol of Unitarianism and later Unitarian Universalism in worship. In the 1970s, many Unitarian Universalist congregations began lighting the chalice as the start of their service. The chalice is lit to create a space for prayer, meditation, reflection, and singing. Meaning, Unitarian Universalists interpret the flaming chalice in many ways, including as a symbol of hope, the warmth of the community, the light of reason, and the sacred. The chalice was a symbol of hope and freedom for Jews and people who sided with them. How did the chalice unite the Unitarian Universalists, you may ask? After the merger of Unitarianism and Universalism in 1961, the symbol was modified to include two overlapping circles. The chalice, a drinking vessel that is symbolized sharing, generosity, and sustenance. A flame, a symbol of helplessness, sacrifice, and the search of meaning and truth. The circles represent the Unitarian Universalist tradition to symbolize inclusiveness and oneness.
chalice Callie made. Isn't it gorgeous?
Now I shall say my chalice words. We light this chalice for peace across the world, for hope for those who don't have any, for understanding everyone's differences, and for faith in those who need it. Let us come together in the spirit of love in our congregation of acceptance.
So as Allie lights the chalice, please join your voices with the words on our screen from Albert Schweitzer. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. In this undying light of love, let us renew our covenant as we say together, love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de esta congregación, y el servicio de principal. Esta es nuestra gran promesa, vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad a través del amor y ayudarnos mutuamente. Please turn to number 1031 in the turquoise hymnal, or see the screen above as we sing together, filled with loving kindness. Please rise together in body or in spirit as you are so moved to sing together. We will sing it in both English and Spanish.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness.
our community each week, we share pieces of our lives. We take a moment to share our joys and sorrows and gratitudes. Here, people who love us exactly for who we are, where we are right now. Nope, nothing in the book. Anything on Zoom?
I wrote something in the book.
Oh, okay, you wrote it on last week's page, but we'll forgive you. Okay, Ken lit a candle of celebration to honor Leanna, who today remains in her 60s for one more year. Happy birthday, Leanna. So we've shared in the book, and there's nothing on Zoom. Okay, thank you.
And now, in the quiet of this hour, if there is something on your mind, in your heart, that you wish to mark without words, you are invited to come forward, take a stone, and drop it in the water of reflection, as we hold us, one another, in sacred community. For as William James wrote, we are islands on the surface, but we are connected in the deep. Let us share a moment of silence, connecting us to those who are in need. with these things, both spoken and unspoken, written and unwritten, asking, let our hearts be seen as we become seers of hearts, that we may serve one another and those beyond our walls with love and thankfulness, today and every day. Amen. Amen. Aho, Ushe, Namaste. Blessed be. And so it is. And let us close this moment of reflection with mind renewal with our sung response to the melody of 371 and the words of 381. We didn't put any hymnals on it, I apologize. Where are you? Here. You start this.
From all that dwells below the skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace goodwill on earth be sung through every land by every tongue. Amen.
And now, if the kiddos will come forward and sit on the rug or the chairs, whatever they're comfortable with, and Karen will share our wisdom story.
Our nursery is jam-packed today, but we have two here. So the service today is all about our favorite books and why they inspire us. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe that any book is a holy book if it provides us with inspiration. So for today's wisdom tale, I chose to share with you a book that is one of my favorites, not just because of the words, but also because of the illustrations. My favorite illustrator, Mary Angerbright. The words, however, are very old, written by a famous Unitarian almost 200 years ago. Probably when he wrote them, he was not intending them to become a children's book. They were most definitely written for adults. We can't make it to work for everybody. His name was William Henry Channing, and he wrote these words almost 200 years ago. Many of us are familiar with William Ellery Channing, the single most important figure in the history of Unitarianism. William Henry was his nephew, who he mostly raised when his father died. William Henry Channing, like his uncle, was born into a wealthy family, but he was very generous with his time and money, working to make the world a more just one for everyone. He actively participated in the abolition movement and worked closely with Lucy Stone and others in the fight for women's rights. He also worked to alleviate the plight of the urban poor while serving as a minister in New York City. He worked tirelessly to protest the Fugitive Slave Law 1850 and helped many people along the Underground Railroad. Frederick Douglass said of him, his congregation was small and his salary not large, but he gave like a prince. I shall never forget the sweet and beautiful expression that came over his face whenever I called upon him for aid. Let's see what he wrote so long ago that could still be inspirational to us today. The title is My Symphony. So when I think of why that's the title, I think of how symphonies are conducted. So I think this is what he says about how he wants to conduct his life. To live content with small means, meaning to be happy even if you have little. To seek elegance rather than luxury. And refinement rather than fashion. To be worthy, not respectable. And wealthy, not rich. She has a wealth of friends. She may not be rich. To study hard, think quietly, talk gently, and act frankly. To listen to stars and birds, to babes and sages with open heart. To bear all cheerfully, do all bravely. Await occasions, hurry never. To let the spiritual, unbidden, and unconscious grow up through the common. This is to be my symphony.
So let us sing our youth to class. We love you and bless you and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day. We sustain and strengthen this beloved community and its work in our world through the gifts of our time, our skills, our love, and our money. Each Sunday, a quarter of our undesignated offerings go to LifeNet for Families, which provides meals, clothing, and support for those in need here in Broward County. The remainder supports our mission and the ministry at River of Grass. Ushers, please come forward to receive the offering. You can also give by the QR code on the screen, well, okay, and find several ways to contribute on the donate page of our website at riverofgrassuu.org. Please give generously and joyfully for our labors of love.
There is a love
Thank you so much for these generous gifts of the heart.
Books have a magic. Excuse me. And books have a magic to them. A power to transform us in ways we can't always measure, but feel deep in our souls. Now, I'm a reader, a book lover through and through. However, I use my Kindle now. It's my constant companion, a source of delight that never weighs me down. And the best part, when I finish a book in the quiet of the night, a new adventure is just a click away. I devour fictions of all times, murder mysteries that keep me on the edge of my seat, historical tales that transport me to another time, and science fiction that expands my mind. I crave the journeys I take with the characters, the insights into the human condition that only a great book can provide. And we are a community of seekers, of questioners. We come together not just as individuals, but a collective of curious minds and open hearts. Today, we honor the power of the written word, the sacred vehicle for knowledge and growth. Let us give thanks for the wisdom we've gained, for authors who've opened our eyes and expanded our understanding. Let us cherish this community that shares in the joy of reading, that lifts each of us up through the sharing of ideas and inspiration. Now today, we celebrate this love of reading that unites us. We've gathered a collection of books, treasured books, each one imbued with meaning and memory. Okay, I picked 3 books, and I'd like the people who brought it, the person who brought it, come up here and share why this book is so cherished. We've got Beowulf. Anybody? We've got Hamnet. I know somebody brought it. It's a beautiful edition. Nobody wants to own up to that one, huh? And White Fragility. Why it's so hard for white people to talk about racism. This is a good one. Okay, I picked another one. It's called Saturn, a novel of a ringed planet and the humans who explore it. Good old science fiction. Anybody? All right, we'll go with 2.
So, Beowulf. Anyway, back when I was in school, I majored in economics, but I took a ancient literature course that was in the, not in the tradition of Greek or Roman mythologies, but instead focused on Norse and Old English. And one of the pieces that we read a portion of was Beowulf. And I just kind of fell in love with it, and it was something extremely different than what I was studying. Several years later, the Seamus Heaney translation came out, and I figured, well, one of the things about that is that it was bilingual. It showed the original Old English on one page and the translation on the other. So I purchased that, and it was really interesting comparing the two, first of all, and secondly, it kind of made me fall in love with it all over again. And then, as luck would have it, my children also ended up purchasing Seamus Heaney translation. So we actually have 3 translations of it, or 3 versions of it. One of them, which I kept and did not share, was the illustrated version. Now, instead of the translation, the original Old English on one side, it had illustrations of what they were talking about. And so I kept that one, plus I kept another copy of the translation, bilingual translation. Anyway, that's what it was, why it's important to me.
White Fragility. This was my first venture into white fragility and privilege. Goes in? No. This was my first venture into white fragility and privilege. Although at the time I didn't agree with a lot of the premises, I thought that it was more supposition and opinion. But you know, time has a way of educating us. And I think the river had a big part to it. And also Sheila, who was my mentor. And I kind of evolved into not so much agreeing or disagreeing, but of seeing. Because sometimes we can look, but we don't see because we have blindness on. But as time went on, and the more I got involved with people of alike thinking, I saw the merit to a lot of what's in the book. And I'm still evolving, so I hope whoever gets it enjoys and learns and digests it in any way they feel fit. Thank you.
Now, when I first read this, the book ceremony was scripted like, have everybody hold their books and ask them to form a line, come up to the table and put a book down. The first person in line go back around and be at the end of the line, so that they are the first parent to pick up a book. And I thought, not in this community. We're gonna stop and look at every freaking book before we pick it up. So the books will be here during hospitality. Come take a book, and they're here for you to take home. These are cherished books that somebody wants to share with you. So please take one home. And there are extras because we have visitors. So please, visitors, feel comfortable in taking something that speaks to you. And those of you who are on Zoom, I prepared a short list from some of our bookies with recommendations of important books. Susan is going to post that in the chat so you can take a look at some of the books the bookies think are important and have cherished. As we close, let us remember that revelation is a continuous journey, just as Milton Pope said. In your heart, a reminder of the connections we've made and the wisdom we've shared. Look around. See these familiar faces. See the friends who have visited us. Feel the spirit of community. For in the world of words, we have found a home. Two-sided printing. I couldn't figure out what that was. Anyway, our closing song is We. This recording was made by the 2020 General Assembly Virtual Choir. I just love this song. The words are up here and they're in the hymnal, but we don't have hymnals, so that doesn't help you. You may find some familiar faces when they have the mosaic of the choir members. Reb Amy is over on the right side. I think she's about third row down in a little bit. And I'm over on the left side, 2 rows down. So please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing We Are.
For each child that's born, the morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, the morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, the morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, the morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the spirit of God, young mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and sons of great visions, sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and builders of nations, seekers of truth, keepers of faith, makers of peace, and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the
are written by Christopher Hutchins in his open letter to his newborn son. I think it applies to all of us, and good advice for us to give our children and grandchildren. Just promise me that you will keep reading. Read until your eyes hurt. Read until you fall asleep with a book in your hand, and then wake up and read some more. Read with a flashlight under the blankets at night. That's strongly recommended. Never stop reading. Never stop learning. That's my first piece of advice to you. Books are not just for school. They're your best allies for the rest of your life. I hope and have every reason to believe that you will live to be 100 years old or more, prospering well into the next century. The only way you can stay relevant in that future world is if you keep learning every day between now and then. It would be presumptuous of me to tell you what knowledge you need to be successful a century from now. But what I can tell you definitely is the only path to success is through constant lifelong learning. We extinguish his flame, but not the light of faith, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We are together again. Shine on! So, I have announcements. At River of Grass, we know that Sunday is only the first day of a week filled with opportunities to live our Unitarian Universalist faith in a world starved for the kind of love that we know. You can find these opportunities in our weekly email, Thursdays, our Facebook page, and our website, riverofgrassuu.org. Here are some ways to fulfill our mission in the coming days. You may realize that we've been getting off pretty well these last few weeks without too many announcements, and I think we are catching up today. So, first, join the Full Moon Daughters for a hangout beach day at beautiful Mizell Johnson State Park in Dania on Saturday, October 19th. That's this coming Saturday, next Saturday. Yes. All women, girls, and those who identify as female are welcome. The daughters will be having an outdoor or nature-themed event every month through May. For our outing list and to sign up for the beach day, see the event poster and more information in the hallway between the sanctuary and hospitality area. For more information, talk to Diane Lade. Is she here? Well, talk to Diane Lade. You'll find her. Or anybody here. Next.
Me, I know about it.
Excuse me?
I know about that Saturday.
Talk to her about
Talk to Ellie about Full Moon Daughters. Thank you. Okay. Next, coming up in just 5 weeks, less than 5 weeks, 5 weeks from yesterday, is our auction on November 16th. Ellie?
First of all, I want to thank Andrew for putting our flyer together. He did a great job.
Into the mic.
I know everyone in this building can hear me, but no one in the universe can hear me if I don't speak into the mic. First of all, I want to thank Andrew for putting this great poster together. He did it in a very short time, along with his high holidays. Auction is coming up. Now, I have heard a lot of people saying, oh, I have some trinkets that I think would be good for the auction. I just happened to go through my trinkets at home, and some of these might be really good to put into the auction as a couple things together. Bring them next week. I will be here. We'll say, hey, that's greater. Let's put these three together. That would be great. It's something that is good that you would be willing and wanting to give to someone else, that's what we're looking for. But I've also heard a lot of people saying, hey, I got this idea for a party, or hey, I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna be doing that. Parties are gonna be putting onto the calendar. Our goal is to have one kind of cool major event a month. So it's first come, first serve. So if you are in a group thinking about putting an auction item party together, get it on the calendar, then do all your follow-up planning. I have many donation forms here that you can take one and fill out your idea, and we can get it on the calendar, and you can meet me at the door with this. And I am looking for, oh, I forgot, ticket sales are up and ready. You can buy the tickets online. Oh, someone in the audience recommended gift cards. Get together with gift cards, you go to Costco, buy a gift card of $20, 20% off, things like that. Things that people will want to give to somebody else, or you want yourself from somebody else. I'm looking forward to seeing all the things that I'm hearing about coming in.
Thank you, Ellen. Finally, the Rivers book group, Bookies, will discuss News of the World by Paulette Giles on Wednesday, October 23rd at 7 p.m. In the aftermath of the Civil War, an aging itinerant newsreader agrees to transport a young Kiowa captive back to her people in this exquisitely rendered, morally complex, multi-layered novel of historical fiction from the author of Enemy Women. It explores the boundaries of family, responsibility, honor, and trust. For information and Zoom, see Steve Jens-Rochow. Okay. Kathy.
And by the way, the Bookies is via Zoom, so you need the link. Bookies is with 2 U's. BUUKIES at riverofgrassuu.org. Yeah. There's one more. Oh, the Spiritual Arts Group has an open studio this next Saturday. They will be painting rocks. I can't remember what else is it. Oh, here we go. At 2 p.m., please come create with other spiritual artists. We will be painting rocks, painting with acrylics, working with water-soluble crayons and oil-based crayons, or bring your own art or craft project with supplies and we'll create together. For more information, see Steve Jens-Rochow or spiritualart@riverofgrassuu.org. As we depart this place, let us hold before us the eyes of a vision of a world transformed and dare to transform ourselves to make it so. Until we meet again, shine on. Please join us for hospitality. Look at the books, take a